Hey guys, welcome back to Priscilla's Craft Shop, and on today's video we're going to be making a Minnie Mouse hat. I promised this hat a long time ago, but unfortunately I've just been so busy I haven't been able to put out content as fast as I like. Hopefully that changes now this summer. For the purpose of this video, we're going to be making this Minnie Mouse hat in size toddler, and I'm using loops and threads impeccable yarn in black, but any worsted weight in black number 4 will do. I use the same brand for the color Lippy. Again, you can use red, light pink, hot pink, whatever you prefer, and then whites. I am using an H hook, some scissors, and a threading needle. All items needed will be in the description, and if you need the written pattern for this, you can find that on my Patreon. Becoming a member is free. Again, the link is in my description for that. So now, using your H hook, we're going to take our black yarn and we're going to work a magic circle or a magic ring, however you prefer to call it. You're going to chain 2 into that magic circle, and then you're going to work 9 double crochets into that magic circle. Now in this video, anytime there's a chain 2 or a chain 1 in the beginning, it does not count as a stitch, so you are disregarding it. You're just doing it there as a placeholder, let's just say. So chain 2 and then 9 double crochet. Then you're going to pull on your center string nice and tight. We want it to be completely closed. And then you're going to join with a slip stitch into your very first double crochet. Not the chain 2, the very first double crochet. Then you're going to chain 2. This next round is an increase. We are going to work 2 double crochets in each stitch for a total of 18 double crochets. So 2 there, 2 there, 2 there. 2 starting at your chain 2 stitch, the same stitch as your chain 2. You're going to work 2 double crochets in there. And 2 double crochets in each stitch around. Again, for a total of 18 double crochets. Okay, now that you have your last stitch, you work 2 double crochets in there, and you're going to join with a slip stitch into your very first double crochet. And chain 2. This next row is another increase. You're going to work 2 double crochets in that same stitch as your chain 2, 1 double crochet in the next, 2 double crochet in the next stitches, 1 double crochet in the next, and that's going to give you a total of 27 double crochets. So 2 double crochets in the first stitch, 1 double crochet in the next, 2 double crochets in the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the next. So that's the pattern: 2 1 2 1, and you're going to continue that around for a total of 27 double crochets. All right, we're working our last double crochet. I want you to slip stitch into your first double crochet of that round and chain 2. This next row is another increase. You're going to work 2 double crochets in the same stitch as your chain 2, 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So basically the pattern that you're looking at is 2 double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. So 1, 2 in the same stitch, 1 double crochet in the next, 1 double crochet in the next. So 2 double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, 2 double crochet, double crochet, so that's 2 double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, and you're going to continue that around for a total of 36 double crochets. All right, now that we're working our final grouping of this pattern, you're going to join with a slip stitch into your first double crochet, and you're going to chain 2. This next round is another increase, and you're going to work 2 double crochets in the same stitch as the chain 2 and 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 2 double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. So 2 in the same stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. And you're going to continue that around for a total of 45 double crochets. Okay, now we're working our last set. You're going to join with a slip stitch into your first double crochet and chain 2. This next round is another increase where you're going to work 2 double crochets into the first stitch and 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and then 1 into the next 4 stitches. I like to look at this as like sets of 6, right? Because you have 2 and then 4, which combined total give you 6. So normally that's how I count my sets. I do 1, 2, knowing that they go into the same stitch, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, knowing that those go into their each individual stitch, and then continue around. And this will give you a total of 54 double crochets. All right, so you should have 5 stitches left. You're going to work 2 double crochets and then 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches. And then you're going to slip stitch into your first double crochet and chain 2. Now this next round is not an increase. You're simply going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch around for again a total of 54 double crochets. So remember, we're working 1 double crochet into the same stitch as your chain 2 and then 1 in each stitch around, and that will give you another row of 54 double crochets. All right, now that we're finishing off that round, you're going to join with a slip stitch into your first double crochet, and this next row will be an increase, and I want to say it's in groups of 10s. And I say that because you're going to work 2 double crochets into your first stitch and then 1 double crochet into the next 8 stitches. So in that same stitch as your chain 2, we're going to work 2 double crochets and then 1 double crochet into the next 8 stitches. So 1, 2, and then you have 1 double crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that's your first set. Or you can count the way I do. So 1, 2 into the same stitch, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to continue to do this pattern all the way around for a total of 60 double crochets. All right, now that we're finishing off this round, you're going to join with a slip stitch into your first double crochet and chain 2. This next round will be the last increase. All right, we're almost done with the hat. I mean, I want to say maybe halfway, but it gets easier from here because there's no more increases. So there's no more having to like mentally count where you're at, if that makes sense. So for this increase, we're going to work 2 double crochets into the same stitch as our chain 2, and then we're going to work 1 double crochet for the next 29 stitches. So I'm going to do this one with you. So we did the 1, 2, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Now you're going to work 2 double crochets into that next stitch. And then work 1 double crochet in each stitch around for the remainder of the hat. And just so that we are all on the same page, that would be 29 double crochets that are left on this hat. All right, for this round, at the end of this round, you're not going to join with a slip stitch. I just like to go over and count, make sure that I have 2 double crochets and then 29 single double crochets. And then 2 double crochets and then another 29 single double crochets. So once I make sure that my number and my count is correct, I'm not going to join. I'm actually going to count how many rows. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you should have a total of 9 rows. If you've been following along from the beginning, you should have a total of 9 rows at this point. I'm going to fasten off my black yarn, not joining, because we're going to do a color change. And I want to show you guys how I do my color change. It makes it look a little more seamless, in my opinion. You can do, if you have your way of doing it that you feel more comfortable, that is fine. But if you are not really sure and you want to follow along, then you can do that as well. So for this point so far, we are at a little bit of 4.5 going down and then 7.5 going across. I always get asked about measurements, and sometimes I get told like, oh, this size doesn't work or it's too big. So I just want to show you where I'm at. So now I'm using the Loops and Thread Impeccable Yarn in color Lippy, Lippy. Again, there will be in the description, there will be a list of items used, as well as links for my Amazon storefront and my Patreon if you need the items or if you need different pattern. You can do this hot pink color, you could do red, you can do light pink, whatever you prefer. So I normally insert my hook into my stitch as I would, but instead of looping my black around, I loop my lippy and I pull tight and then I chain 2. And now we are going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch around. So 1 double crochet in the same stitch as your chain 2, and then 1 double crochet around in each stitch around for a total of 62 double crochets. So here we are at our ends, and at the end of this round, you're going to join with a slip stitch into your first double crochet. You're going to chain 2, and then you're going to work another round of 62 double crochets. And you're actually going to do this for a total of 5 rows. So you have 9 rows in black and 5 rows in your accent color, your opposing color, whatever color it is that you pick for your Minnie Mouse hat. Okay? And that's what you're going to continue doing, working rows of double crochet in each stitch for 62 double crochets, joining with a slip stitch and chaining 2 until you get to the end of your 5th row, which would be the total of 14 rows for this size hat. And just so you know, on the written pattern, I have all sizes available from 0 to 3 months to larger childs. It's all written out. It's all put out there, exactly each step, guide by guide, with pictures. And you can find that by joining my Patreon for free. Okay, so we're done with our final round. We're going to slip stitch and chain 1. And I just want to flatten it out so that you can see how this is looking. So from the top of the head to the bottom, you are at about 6.5 inches, and then from side to side you are at about 8 inches. Now understand that everyone's tension is different, but this is where I am at. Okay, now it's time to work our first ear flap. So you have your chain 1 and you're going to work 1 single crochet into that same stitch as your chain 1 and 1 in the next 11 stitches. So that is a total of 12 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn. This next round is a decrease. You're going to work a single crochet 2 together into the first 2 stitches, one single crochet into the next 8 stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then a single crochet together in those last 2 stitches. There's 2 left, so we're going to decrease that. Chain 1 and turn. This next row, you're just going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch for a total of 10 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn. This next row is another decrease. You're going to work a single crochet 2 together in the first 2 stitches and 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, single crochet 2 together those last 2 stitches, chain 1 and turn. This next row, you're going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch for a total of 8 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn. This next row is a decrease. Single crochet 2 together the first 2 stitches and 1 single crochet into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, single crochet together those last 2 stitches, chain 1 and turn, work 1 single crochet into each stitch for a total of 6 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn. This next row is another decrease. Single crochet together the first 2 stitches, 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then single crochet together those last 2 stitches. Chain 1 and turn. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch for a total of 4 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn. 2 single crochets together in the first stitch, and then the last 2 single crochet together to the last 2 stitches, chain 1 and turn, and then work a single crochet together in those last 2 stitches and fasten off. And you are done with your first ear flap. So now we're going to move on to the second ear flap. And this is your back because this is where we joined, right? This is where we had our change of colors. So you're going to be counting this way. And you are going to skip 22 stitches. And that is where you're then going to put with a standing single crochet your second ear flap. So that one is part of your ear flap. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, right in there. So you're skipping 22 stitches. Sorry, I have it all wrapped around, so I have to kind of get myself together. And you're going to work a set of 12 single crochets across. Chain 1 and turn. Now you're going to single crochet 2 together the first 2 stitches and work 1 single crochet into the next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Single crochet 2 together those last 2 stitches, chain 1 and turn. You're now going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch across for a total of 10 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn. Another decrease, single crochet together the first 2 stitches, then 1 single crochet into the next 6 stitches, single crochet together those last 2 stitches, chain 1 and turn. You're now going to work 1 single crochet across for a total of 8 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn, single crochet together the first 2 stitches, work 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, 2, 3, 4, and then single crochet 2 together those last 2 stitches. Chain 1 and turn. Now you're going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch across for a total of 6 single crochets. Chain 1 and turn, another decrease, so single crochet together those 2 stitches, first 2 stitches, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then single crochet together those last 2 stitches. Chain 1 and turn, work 1 single crochet across for a total of 4 single crochets, chain 1 and turn, single crochet 2 together the first 2, single crochet 2 together the last 2, chain 1 and turn, and single crochet together those last 2 stitches, and then fasten off. So we are done with our hat. Well, with the ear flaps portion, I should say. This is how it looks flattened out. It's obviously inside out. So now we have to add our border. And I was on the fence. I was going to just do a lippy border. I wasn't sure if I should do the white or the lippy. And I really struggled with which one to pick. And my 17-year-old son was just like, do the white because the braids are going to be pink, black, and white. And it just gives it a pop of color, and it's like a trim on her skirt. And I thought, okay, well, if the 17-year-old boy can say that, then I guess the white will go. So this is the back, and we know that because our joins are there, if you can see them hanging out. And that's where we're going to join our accent color with a standing single crochet. And again, I'm all cut up. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. This part is very simple. You're simply going to work 1 single crochet all across your hats, from the back, down the ear flaps, do the front, back the other ear flaps, back to the back, and join it with a slip stitch. The only thing I will say that I do in this situation is at the very top of your ear flaps. When you have one single crochet up there, I like to work 2 single crochets into that top spot. So I just want to show you guys what I'm talking about. I just feel like it rounds it out. If you want it more pointy, you can just do 1, but I like the more rounded out look for the braids. So here we are at the top. I'm going to work 2 single crochets into that spot. And then you have your fastened off lippy from the top of your ear flap. And what I like to do, just to kind of secure it more in place, is I like to work my single crochet stitches with it up against my ear flap. So I'm kind of sewing it along in place, as so. I'm going to obviously fasten it off when I'm done with this, but I just feel like this just secures it just a little more. Okay, now you're going to join with a slip stitch into your first single crochet. Then you're going to fasten off your whites. And this is what your hat looks like. Let's turn it right side out. And this is what it is. And now all you have to do is turn your hat back inside out and fasten off all of your loose ends. Okay guys, now it's time to make the bow, and for that I use my lippy color, or whatever bottom part you're working with, that's the color you're going to want to make your bow with, and my H hook. We're then going to work a chain of 17. And then in your third stitch from your hook, you're going to work a half double crochet, and you're going to continue to work a half double crochet in each stitch down the chain for a total of 15 half double crochets. When you get to the end of your row, you're going to chain 2 and work a half double crochet into that same stitch as your chain 2. Go straight across and do another row of 15 half double crochets. And you're going to do that for a total of 5 rows. So 5 rows, for 15 half double crochets. All right, now that we are done, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to chain 1 and work a single crochet all across your bow. And then you're going to join with a slip stitch into your first single crochet and fasten off. So this is what it looks like. And we're just going to fasten this off, get rid of this, so that I can then move on to the next portion of the bow, which is actually making it look like a bow. Okay, so now for this center portion, I take a really long string of the color that I'm using for my bow. And I take an excessive amount. I always do this and I'm always left with a bunch left over. But I just always rather be safe than sorry. So once you have that, you're then going to pinch in the center from top to bottom. Just as so. And all you're going to do is take this string and loop it around the center. That is it. That is all you're doing. Don't worry, right now mine looks a little wonky. Don't worry, we're gonna fix it. It's gonna look normal, but this is all you are doing. Just to kind of secure it in place, I like to take my shorter version, or my shorter part of my string, and whatever side is on, I like to run it through the back on the opposite side and then kind of unraveled it when I did that. I didn't mean to do that, but here we are. And then I take the opposite end, which is the long side, and I come in through the opposite side. So this is my short string side. I'm going to go in through there and come out on the other ends. And then I'm just going to make a knot. I just want to make sure that it's in place, that it's not going anywhere, that it's not going to get, it's not going to unravel itself. And I like to tie it 3 times. And then I cut off my short part, and the bow itself is set. Now we have to add the polka dots, because Minnie Mouse wouldn't be Minnie Mouse without her polka dots. So for the polka dots, you're going to take your white yarn and your H hook, and in a magic circle, you're going to chain 1 and work 5 single crochets into that magic circle. That's 5 single crochets, and then you're going to join with a slip stitch and tighten up your circle. Make sure it's nice and tight. And we're going to make 6 of these, because 3 go on one side and 3 go on the opposite side. Okay, so now that I have all 6 done and I've cut off all the backings, this is my placements, and you can just follow along where I have them placed. I normally just do 1 top, 1 bottom, 1 center. You can place them however you feel fit, but I just feel like this makes it spread out as even as possible on this small area. So this is how it looks. Now you just have to tie off all of these loose ends, and this is your bow. Now we can move on to the ears. So for the ears, you're going to make a total of 4 of them. Going to use your black, and I already made 3, so we're going to work on the last one together. Alright, so with your black yarn, you're going to work a magic circle, and we're going to chain 2 into that magic circle and work a total of 12 half double crochets into the magic circle. Alright, pull your circle tight, and in the first half double crochet, you're going to join with a slip stitch, chain 2, and work 2 half double crochets in each stitch around for a total of 24 half double crochets. Join with a slip stitch into your first half double crochet, chain 1. Now you're going to work 2 single crochets in one stitch, 1 single crochet in the next, for a total of 36 single crochets. So that's 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet. Join with a slip stitch into your first single crochet, chain 1, and now you're going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch around for a total of 36 single crochets. So just so we're on the same page, the first 2 rounds were half double crochets and the last 2 rounds are single crochets. When you reach the end and you slip stitch and you fasten off, I want you to leave a very long tail for sewing, okay? All right, so now that we have all 4 completed, we're going to tighten up our circle and cut off that excess string. And we're going to put them with their backs facing each other. The back would be the side that had the string coming out of it in the center. Okay, so this is how I like to do this. You can slip stitch them together if you would prefer. I just take one string from one of the hats, from one of the ears, sorry, and I sew it along together into the stitches. And then I leave the other string from the other ear. I leave it there so that I can then sew the ear onto the hat. But if you wanted to fasten off both strings and slip stitch them together, you're more than welcome to do that as well. All right, once I reach the ends of that, I take that string and I make it shorter, just so that I know that that's the string that I sewed around my ear. And now I'm going to tie a knot 3 times with my longer string. This is just to fasten off this portion to get rid of this excess little string that we have here. And you have one ear completed. Now you have to do the same for the opposite ear. Now we're going to move on to the polka dots on Minnie's dress, or the bottom of the hat, should I say. You're going to take your white with your H hook and you're going to work a magic circle. You're going to chain 2 into that magic circle, and then you're going to work 10 double crochets into that magic circle. Now, when you get to the ends of this magic circle, when you've done your 10 double crochets, you're going to close it shut. You're going to slip stitch into your first double crochet, and then you're going to fasten off. The number of these that you're going to do is completely up to you. If you just want the front of the hat to have the polka dots, as I did in this video, then you only need 5 of them. If you want the polka dots to go towards the back of the hat as well, then you would do 10 of them. It is completely a personal preference. I only did the front because I feel like for most hats, I'm only making the access on the front, not the back. So I only did 5 of them. So this is what I'm thinking about for my placement. This is how I think I want them to be. You can do 3 on the top, 2 on the bottom, or 2 on the top, 3 on the bottom. It is totally up to you. And again, you can do the back if you prefer, but I am just doing the front for the purpose of this video. And if I were making it, I would only do the fronts. Now let's put our hat together. Okay, so we're gonna start with our ears. And for the ears, I just kind of like to start after my second row. So I put it behind the hat. It's going to kind of sit behind the hat, kind of coming up a little. And I started at after the second row. And you don't want to go through the whole hat because you don't want a portion of the hat to be unusable. You want them to be able to put their head all the way down and for the ears to look like it's coming out of their head. So I just do it through the back, and all I'm doing is sewing on all of the accents. I'm just sewing the hat as best as I can, and follow that along with the opposite side as well. And that's it. It's pretty simple. Okay guys, now it's time for the bow. And the bow is just going to go in the base of the hat. And normally I line it up. I like to make sure that it's centered with the base of my hat. And I wrap around the center a couple of times with my yarn. And then I go across the bottom of my bow, which goes up along the hat, and sew it along that way. A tip I would give, because the ears are double, that means that you can kind of sew in between them. So what I would do is I take my bow and I kind of take my threading needle and go in between the ears so that it's sewed up against the ear, but you cannot see the pink on the back of the ear, if that makes sense. So I just kind of find with my threading needle that little sweet spot in the middle of the two ears placed together, and that's how I sew it along there, just so that it's sewed up against the ear in the front, but in the back you cannot see any other color besides just the black ear. All right, now that the bow part is done, now it's time to add the polka dots. And again, using the placement that I showed you before, you can use that placement. You could do it a little more all over the place, however you really want. This is a child's hat, so it can look whimsical, it can look more patterned. It's really up to you and your preference and the child you're making it for. Alright guys, you fasten off all of the extras in your hats and then you're at the last part. We're almost done. We're going to add your braids. So I am doing the lippy pink in the center, the white in the front, and the black in the back. And that is 6 strands on each side of each color. And the strands are about 36 inches in length, give or take. Sometimes it could be 32 or 34. It really depends on the size hat that I'm making. But I normally do roughly around size 36 inches in length. And now you just braid that. And this is what the finished product looks like. Again, the link in my description for my Patreon, where you can become a member for free, is available, as well as all the information needed for this hat tutorial. I hope you found it easy to follow along. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.